Time to wake up. Didn't I guess I used to have a knight defending that square. I may have to look at that again. When did I move the knight? Okay, we've got a 4 knights defense. 4 knights game, I guess it's called. 4 knights Scotch, a very respectable way to play. Oh, now he can take here. I didn't want to allow the queen trade, although I think maybe technically taking this way is best. That's something we can look at. Maybe after the game. Okay, 2 things I want to look at after this game. First was in my previous game, what happened to my knight that was defending against that check, and then second one was this one. What is the right opening move there? Anyway, if he pushes, I'll just move my knight here, so it's good for me. Let's just go ahead and castle. Don't have to be in a hurry to block the pawn push here. Okay, now this knight is unpinned. I go here, he takes, I take. He takes, I take the bishop with check. That is okay too. And if he pushes, I'll drop my knight back and attack the pawn, I guess. Let's see, if I drop back here, then he can take the pawn. I take, he takes, I take. Yeah, it's still defended, although just barely. I could put my bishop here. That would help shore it up. I mean, he may have some discovery with his bishop that he can move the bishop and attack the pawn simultaneously. But unless he has a really killer move, I have a simple defense like this. And I didn't see that killer move, so yeah, that seems to be the best he can do. Okay, brought his queen out. He's putting pressure on my knight. I can check his king since he hasn't dealt with that yet. The idea is to gain time to put my bishop here and chase his queen away. I didn't want to let him take here with the queen and bishop and damage the pawns there. So bishop here defending the knight and chasing the queen away seems to be what I want to do. Oh, wow. That's very exciting. He was so scared. I still want to play here. See where the queen goes. Could go all the way to here if he wants to keep up the pressure on the knight. Now I can turn the tables on him, right? I can pin his knight. Yeah, I can. This knight is now pinned. Let's see, is there a way to increase the pressure on it? I'm not seeing it. Anyway, I want to stay I want to keep I wanted to get my queen away from his knight's attack and also unpin, keep my knight unpinned. That's what I was starting to say, is I want to keep his knight unpinned. So I can move the knight now. Let's kick his bishop first. There, he had to give up. He gave up the pin. Now let's see what we can do to weaken his king side here. Elias, welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. I had a short disaster in my first game. I think I was going to look at that again after this one. And then let's see. I need to move my bishop off the back rank. I'm just wondering where the best place to put it is. Well, I could just take his rook too. But I think if he wants to trade, I'll let him trade. Keep his king out. He did unpin his knight. And yeah, if he trades rooks, I mean, then I'll have a rook here. Still hasn't developed over there. Yeah, so he's going to try and hop into a good square here with his knight. And I'm okay with that. Like I said, I want to mess with the pawns over here on the queen side. So first, I'll take here. Then we'll take here. And I get a nice check here. Now, if I want to, I can save my bishop, but I'm not so concerned about my bishop at the moment. I'll take this pawn with check anyway. If he takes the bishop, I'll take there with check and then come back and take his knight. Unless I see something better. There are interesting. I guess he can block this diagonal, right? So if I check and check, he runs this way. Now he brought his queen over to defend. Okay, let's go ahead and save my bishop then. Maybe I could put it out here. Poking at that king. Oh, well, it was defended, but I liked having that rook on his back rank. He thought the rook was hanging. I did for a second too. Okay, I guess maybe I have to drop back here. Let's not allow the push of that pawn any further. So yeah, let's pile up on his knight. Okay, hits the queen there, but this defends the bishop and keeps the... Okay, so I can take here and then come in with the check, right? And he resigned. Yeah, it was just kind of crazy of my opponent to walk with his king. So anyway, let's go back and look at, let's see, my first game I wanted to look at to see what happened to my knight. Oh yeah, I had a knight here and that got traded away. Right here. So after this, I was in trouble. He didn't take advantage of it right away, but he could have immediately given the check. No. Because here it was still defended this way. So in the game, it wasn't until I moved my queen out of the way, get out of this pen, and then he's just winning there. Let's see, was there anything interesting in the opening? No, this is just Austrian attack, Pirt's defense. Okay, next game. Let's see, yeah, the Scotch variation of the four games, of the four knights. The four knights game, Scotch variation. Taking is normal. That's okay. Oh, it is b takes c6. I was wondering, if you take this way, which sometimes seems like the right idea, he gets a bit of an advantage by trading queens. So you do avoid the trade. So I guess I played the opening okay. Then I should push that pawn right away. I think I castled first. Then push the pawn. And this is just good for black. And his game kind of went downhill from there. He did some funny moves. Okay, let's go back and get another game. Okay, let's try a Sicilian this time. So I've been getting a lot of comparably rated players. That's nice. Okay, we have the main line of the Sicilian, the open Sicilian. And then I choose the classical defense with knight c6 instead of the knight or for the dragon. Now, when he plays this move, this indicates he's going for a English setup, English attack setup. So it's good to kick the knight and get a little stake in the center here. Normally the knight retreats to b3. You can take. You can go there. I haven't seen that one before. But I'm sure you can do that. And the way I play it, I like to try and get in an early d5. Kind of open up the structure here a bit. I'm just not paying attention today. I guess this maybe works. Because when the queen takes here, it unpins everything. So 2 pieces and 2 rooks, yeah, came out of it okay. And same number of pawns. And opposite colored bishops. Let's see. So I've got a check here. His knight has this square here. But anyway, let's see what we can do in this endgame. It's no longer an opposite colored bishops endgame, so we got bishop versus knight. Keeping on this diagonal, I kind of like it. Keeping the knight out of this square. Going after the weak pawns. I mean, both sides have a passed pawn, but mine is actually an outside passed pawn, so it's a little more dangerous. Yeah, he went for the unpinning this pawn here. I'm going to grab this one, try and win with my outside passer. Yeah, he pretty quickly went into a sequence that just traded everything, so probably black was fine all the way through this game. Although I had a scary moment there when I realized my knight was pinned and I was no longer Wasn't so easily taking that pawn. Getting the pawn back or whatever. Okay, knight's hitting here, 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 here. So I go here to attack. He can defend from this square. And I can chase it with the bishop. So he doesn't... he was threatening to come in and fork. So we'll round up the pawn this way, I guess. I should be winning. Let's see if I can hold it together. Yeah, he's going to come in with a check here, but like I said, I'm going to win with that outside passer, so I'm not going to, unless I get forked here. So I take, he comes in with a check. If I go forward here, he comes here with check and picks up the rook. So when he goes here with check, I drop back. Should be okay. Just have to avoid those forks and things. He's also getting mated here. So he has to deal with that. Then we can just start running with this guy, right? Now we could kick his knight first. How about? Kick it again. Okay, so now he's got this square, this square, this square. Yeah, so he can come out through here. So if I start pushing this immediately, he can get behind it. I can check and get in front of it. Okay, I want to step away. I want to block here, so now I can check. Make a queen. He had to take. I don't know why he didn't take. No, we're not doing takebacks. Silly guy. You gotta think before you move. He resigned. Okay, so was I actually winning anymore by then? So I went here, which is wrong. He takes. I queen. I get the rook back. And it's just even. It's just a draw. So, but before that, I was still winning, but just by a little. Let's back up. So probably I pushed the pawn too soon. Yeah, I was worried he gets behind the pawn there. Thinks this is good. Okay, this is winning. Then I play here. So I needed to get another threat going besides just this one pawn. That also keeps his knight from coming out. So as I thought, it was a winning position, but you got to proceed slowly here. Keep the pawn defended. At this point, you can think about putting the bishop here and pushing like this. But if he gets the rook behind the pawn, it still becomes hard to defend. Oh, I can't go there. Ah. So how about if he comes here? That gives me time to get my rook behind it. And that's a position that's not too hard to win, too. That's the way to play it. Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to push that pawn and get my rook behind it at the same time, but that sequence of pushing on this side first seems to do it. Okay, yeah, new game. C4. He knew I was going to play C4, and he didn't want to face another English. Okay, I'll take. I mean, that is the idea of the C-pawn push, is to trade it for the D-pawn and have an advantage in the center. So I've got a kind of reverse dragon set up. Bring the knight out here and get castled. Very comfortable position for white. I think start pushing on the queen side here and maybe get something going on the c file. Okay, we'll go here immediately so that if he pushes, I can play b5, and then we'll prepare to b4 rather, and then prepare to play b4 here. Gotta wait a second here to see if he wants a take back, because he probably intended to castle there, right? But it looks like he's going to live with that. Okay, I want to move this knight out of the way. But that's not going to be a safe square for it. Maybe I'll come in here with the knight, with the queen. give the knight a square over here. Oh, so he's just going for the attack. So you're wondering about sacrifices. I don't know. Let's see. So I'm going to move my knight and then play b5. That's the plan. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Check. The check here defends the pawn. His peculiar position of his king has finally cost him trouble. And now I can take here without... yeah, so he took. I was going to be able to take there without suffering any pawn damage. See, if I take this way, he does have the ability to take this pawn, huh? No, it's defended. The knight's defending that. The fork here. There's a fork there. I missed that. Yeah, I just created the fork by taking this way. Guess I should have taken the other way. Okay, so let's go ahead and take here. Let's see, if I push the pawn, let's go ahead and stop the fork and give up that pawn. I do have a knight here, hitting his bishop. Pawn here. Chasing his knight back. Knight up, hitting this pawn. I think I'm okay. But yeah, that was a mistake there. Maybe we could look at that. Yeah, so I was going to play here, I thought. Hit his loose bishop. He still has a bit of an awkward king. Bishop can drop back to here. Goes there. That's true too. Okay, I was going to kick that knight. That's a problem. I just noticed if I take with the king, then he's got this pawn push with check. And the knight could hum back here. Then he could trade it off. So I guess I'll take with the queen. Threatening this pawn. Maybe I'll just chase his knight away. Maybe that's possible. Take here. I have two knights defending here, so his knight is sort of out of play. Hitting this pawn, threatening the fork. Okay, we'll step here, defend against the fork and increase the pressure on this file. I think I'm building up enough pressure here to break through. It's looking good to me. I mean, there's various ideas like pushing here and pushing here. For example, if he blocks here to stop this push, then I have this push to leave this guy undefended. Looks dangerous, and his pieces have not yet managed to coordinate. And this is a fork. And that just breaks through. He resigned, yeah. It was tempting to keep taking, but of course his knight is defending. So I'd have to take a breakout to push this pawn here and then break through. Okay, well, I think that's it for this session. That was pretty good. Nice to finish on a win. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to follow me to get notifications for when I'm streaming. These days I'm streaming, Sundays I stream chess, and Tuesdays I stream Go about this time. So see you then. Bye now.